Hey Alex, Coach Benlin here. Just breaking down some of your swings from our January session. I put some of my notes into a document that I can send over your way. I'm going to break down a couple of the videos and then give you some videos of some MLB players to take a look at that focus on some of the adjustments that I'm looking at tonight. Just to walk through the document and then we'll look at some swings. There's three things that I think you're really improving on. And the first one is head movement. We talk about tracking the pitch 60 feet and making sure you're not pulling your head out and missing that point of contact. And after watching some of these clips and working with you in the past few sessions, I realized that you're doing a great job seeing it all the way, staying on. We talked about shoulder to shoulder head movement, and you're doing a much better job of that, tracking it onto the barrel. The second thing I noticed is that you're definitely making improvements in keeping your hands back in the load. Previously, your hands were coming forward and drifting forward in your load, and you're doing a great job of keeping them back. And the last thing is just you've been developing more and more balance in your load. It used to kind of be a pick it up, put it down, and you'd fall on the front foot, and it would mess up your balance and your timing. And the load is definitely improving. So let's keep working on those while adding in some new adjustments. Some of the adjustments that I am noticing, I want to make sure that you're thinking swing with your hips, not your arms. And I noticed this I'll pull up the video right now. In one of the last sessions, there was actually a video where we were trying to get the camera focused and right. And I was watching this and I noticed that you're taking practice swings. And it was a lot of upper body, not using a lot of the lower body. And then I watched it in the next few videos after that. And I realized that it's almost like you're swinging arms first and your lower half is reacting um, to that upper body rather than vice versa. And I'll show you what I mean in some of the swings coming up. Um, the second thing that I'm going to talk about is your timing, making sure the front foot gets down before you swing, not doing both at the same time. And the last one, which is something that we've been working on previously, is your extension, making sure you're extending through the baseball. So let's take a look at a couple of the swings I have on film, and we'll focus on the first one here. Think hips, not arms. We want to make sure that in your load, you're building in the lower half. Your swing is starting in the lower half, um, beginning in an athletic position, staying athletic with some bend in the back knee, sitting your hips nice and in an athletic position, ready to go. Build in the rear leg, then launch forward, hips and hands. Your hands should be the last thing to move. Sometimes I feel like you're bringing those arms, you're thinking arms, and everything else is kind of second to that. We want to make sure that starts in the lower half. Your hands are last to move. So it's front foot down, hips, then hands. Front foot down, hips, then hands, in that order. And sometimes it looks like you're just twisting on your back foot. So let's take a look at that here in this video. This is where I really noticed it. A lot of upper body, a lot of arms. The lower half is kind of just reacting to the top half. And if you watch your back foot here, it's kind of just twisting in place rather than building in that back leg and driving forward with it. So we definitely want to make sure that in that load, we're building in the back leg, on the inside of the rear leg, and then launching forward. Let's take another look at it here. It almost looks like you're only rotating the top half, completely isolated from the bottom half. And I have a good drill that we'll do a jump back drill, what we call, in the next session. But you also notice the good things here. Watch you tracking the ball all the way in, your head's not bobbling, not moving. But definitely want to work on building in that lower half and using the energy we build. Okay, the second adjustment here was the front foot has to be down before you swing. Right, we can't be doing both at the same time. We can't be having our front foot up in our load while bringing our upper body around and throwing our hands. It's front foot down first, then hips, then hands, in that order. Sometimes I feel like you're getting those choppers, straight down to the ground because you're trying to swing while your front foot is still in the air. And it's very simple, but if that's something that's throwing you off, it's going to be hard to time up balls and get line drives. And we want to make sure that that front foot's down. That's what timing is, right? Front foot down, pop the hip. Front foot down, pop the hip. like we do in the on deck circle. So we'll keep an eye on that, but we got to make sure that we're separating those two. Your lead leg should be out in front with your hands back. We call that separation. Make sure you're getting separated fully before you go through the swing. That separation, lead leg out in front with your hands back, that'll be used, in your build as you get ready to launch your hips and your hands. I have a good video of Mike Trout and Mookie Betts. And if we're taking a look at these two side by side videos, watch their front foot in relation to their hips and their hands. I'll play it a couple times. Watch right here. The front foot's going to land, then hips, then hands in that order. And these are two of the best out there that do this. Front foot down, hips, hands every time. If you watch the back side of their swing, right? If you watch their rear leg here, watch how it's going to drive forward. Here, I could draw on the screen here and show you. So when they start their swing, right here, look at where the back foot is prior to the swing. So on Trout, it starts here, and it's going to almost launch and drag up to here. Same thing with Betts. He's great at it. Starts here, and as he's building in that back leg and that rear leg, he's going to use that energy and launch forward. So when we say build in that back leg, we want to make sure that we're on the inside of the back foot, inside of the knee, and in this back hip. Build in that energy, sit in that hips. They're gonna shrink their hip level down in their load, and then use all that lower half forward. So when I'm watching your swings and there's a lot of arms, we want to think lower half powering the top half. So I'll clear that and we'll watch this one more time. Watch the back foot here. Launching forward. And the term that I'll use in our next session is the hips pull the hands. The hips pull the hands. We cannot think upper body. Starts with the lower body. One more time. I have another Trout video I'll show you as well in a second. The third thing that I want to focus on here, the third adjustment, was the extension piece. And this is something we've done before. Rather than focusing on getting to the baseball and the load, we definitely have to start focusing on extending through the baseball. So from that point of contact where the ball is meeting the barrel, the next stage there, the extension, we say get through 3 baseballs, and then finishing up and out, that high finish, right? We want to make sure they're focusing on that. Sometimes you're in a rush, I feel like, to put your hands right into your pocket and wrap that bat around. Your hands have to get out in front, extended. You want to make sure that knob is getting inside and in front of that baseball before you finish. It's gonna add some jump off the bat, and it's definitely going to prevent any rollovers or any ground balls, making sure that that bottom hand, that knob leads the way, getting in front of the baseball. It says finish the path of your hands until you're fully extended out in front. We say power V, where both hands are all the way out in front. And if I pull up the Mike Trout, I have a swing here. I know we're using Mike Trout, but I mean, he is the best, so it should help here. And they added some strobe motion, it's called, to show you the path. So watch the extension, right? Watch how he gets to the baseball, and then watch when he gets through it. Look at the path of that bat. I'll show you one more time here from the side angle. Right here, you see him using that lower half right there, right? Beautiful load. Foot lands, foot comes down. Here come the hips, then the hands. Hips, hands. Here's point of contact right here. Notice his head too, staring down at the baseball, right? You see that 90-degree bend in the back leg. Now he's gonna get through it. Right there, extended out in front, keeps going all the way to his back. We wanna make sure that we're extending all the way through there. Another thing I like about this video is watch the guy in the on-deck circle back here, number 45. Look at him timing up the pitcher. Front foot down, back hip like he's in the box. It's almost synchronous right there. What a beautiful swing. So just to finish off with another set of your swings here. Where is it? Let's check some out here. You're going to notice that the front foot is coming down and the swing is starting at the same exact time. rather than one after the other. Front foot down, hips, then hands. Front foot down, hips, then hands. It looks like you're almost late and you're rushed, and that's why you're getting these choppers. One more time. Let's watch for the extension too. Point of contact right there. Once again, look at your head. Your head movement's great all over the ball. Something we've been working on. See how your arms are kind of folded up there? We want to make sure they're fully extended all the way out in front before you put it away to your back. But your hands are back. We like that. You're tracking the ball well, seeing it all the way. Definitely major improvements. Let's make sure, watch the load here in the last couple, that we're building in the rear leg and launching the hips forward. That's where power and that's where our timing will come from in our load. So just to review what we'll work on the next session, we're going to think hips, not arms. Okay, we're going to swing with our hips. It starts in the lower half, not the upper body. Our timing, we're going to make sure the front foot is getting down before the swing, front foot down, hips, then hands in that order. And we want to make sure we're focused on the back end of the swing, the point of contact into the extension and the up and out finish. And on the bottom, I wrote what I recommend to help with this, especially with the timing. If you have a mirror, you can get in front of it, doing the load and holding that pose and making sure that everything's correct before you pop the hip, just like you're on the on deck circle. You don't need to swing a bat. You don't need a bat in your hands. Pick it up, put it down, go with the hip, keep the hands back, keep the head movement down, and work on your load repeatedly. It'll help with the balance, it'll help with the timing, and you can self-correct in the mirror. So I hope this helps you. I'll send this document over, and we'll continue to work on this in the next session.